Still a pretty low kill game, 9-3 coming out in favor of Necrodancers. But definitely dominant of a performance coming out from them going into game number 2 now. If you're FWC Esports, you pulled out that Butcher with a bit of protection from that Abathur, and you picked Towers of Doom and lost. What are you thinking? What are you doing to make sure you go into this next game as ready as possible?
Not pick the Butcher. I mean, we've had our fun tonight, but in all seriousness, the hero just doesn't have an escape, and once he's in, he's in. He's an all-in hero, and having him in a situation like that, obviously with the Abathur hat, it helps, but he has no way to get out, and when he started getting trapped in by the likes of Diablo, Stukov with the silence, even all the slows we saw from Thrall and Jaina as well, it's just so tough for him to survive, and I got to give it up for Necrodancers for really applying so much pressure onto him, making sure that the slows were there every time, and he couldn't just wail away at their backline.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great coordination there coming out. And like you mentioned, it's just so easy to punish Butcher. And I know that FWC had a lot of success with those wacky drafts, and we theorized whether or not they would pull them out here in game number 2 against an opponent such as Necrodancers. Game number 1, they put it all in. Game number 2, we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which we also saw in our first series that they ended up taking. So trying to go to those comfortable maps as best as possible to try to get some kind of advantage here. We did see them play the Butcher on Tomb of the Spider Queen, so there is a little bit of fear of that coming back here, Murda. Even though you very much don't want to see it, you hate to see it. However, might be in the cards.
I just honestly, CatPeach, if we see Butcher again, I might start cheering for Necrodancers a bit. We had our fun. But I really want to see FWC bring this to game number 3. I think they have it in them to make it happen. Obviously, I know this team. They're part of my Storm division over in NGS. Big fans of the team. But I want to see them really take it to Necrodancers, a team that has potential to make it all the way up to that Crucible. This is FWC's spot to shine, and it's going to be all on the line here, Tomb of the Spider Queen, and I want to see them put their best foot forward here.
Yeah, absolutely. However, on the flip side, Necrodancers sitting at number 4 in the standings could potentially climb higher if they can go through the series into tomorrow and take one of those top spots at the end of this cup. So they've got a lot on the line in terms of seeding for playoffs as well that they are fighting for, which with FWC not necessarily being in the running for the playoffs next week would be a massive upset onto Necrodancers if they can take them out. This draft is speeding through, by the way. Uriel and Diablo coming out in the bans for Necrodancers. Maev and Blaze on the side of FWC Esports.
Definitely looking, again, at unique solo laners that have to come out. The Dahaka has potential here. I would not be surprised if this is a Genji pick first on the top here for Necrodancers, as he is available. Instead, it's going to be Deckard Cain, leaving that Genji still on the side of, or still available for the side of FWC.
Yeah, taking away those roots, you got to wonder what Necrodancer might be planning to follow up with those slows and those roots. We've seen a lot of really fantastic pairings with that Phoenix, with that Purification Salvo to follow up the Stay a While and Listen. So that is always on the table. We're seeing the reprise of Junkrat yet again, but with Zeratul not being banned out, gets picked up for FWC Esports.
Yeah, Fly Straven. Once again, we're going to see if he can pull it off with his Zera. We only got to see it that one time. It was banned out in every other game that we've seen tonight. Game number 1, he played it on Towers of Doom in the first set, and it looked really good. He was my MVP. We'll see if that's the answer here for them on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Johanna and Hanzo are the answers in response for Necrodancer.
Yeah, Necrodancer is showing that they really are considering that boss control in that top lane on this match, which we did see FWC try their own boss call on their game earlier today, ended up losing out on it in that throw pit. So this screams a lot of danger in terms of a repeat of that fight coming into this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Whitemane now, the next to be banned. potentially putting the support pool back a bit. Obviously, Malfurion's still there. You still have Alex Straza or Rhaegar, which I think are in great spots. But maybe we see a Karazim come out here to help dive in with this Zeratul. Would be a fancy fly option for FWC if they could pull it off.
Yeah, and I mean, Karazim doesn't have the worst wave clear in the world either. So for a map like this, it would make sense. They're instead going to go for the roots on that Malfurion to set up for those Junkrat grenades for that dive with Zeratul, and also the Stormbolt coming out with that Muradin just for that additional lockdown. Not just, but also.
But I mean, this is now FWC going back to their comfort of what they were playing earlier in set number 1 this evening. And going back to this Muradin, going back to this Zeratul, keeping with this Junkrat, which has been playing well. Now we see Gul'dan and Sonya picked up by Necrodancers, which gives them a lot of team fight capabilities with the Horrify. Sonya can opt into the Wrath of Berserker or even the Leap, which could give them that extra stun to pair with the Johanna's Bless Shield. So options available for Necrodancers, and a lot of CC, CatPeach.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what the additional frontline for FWC Esports is going to be to protect against that Sonya and that Johanna. Instead, rather than do that, they say, we'll pick up that Genji that no one seemed to ban out. So Muradin taking a lot of that damage, hoping to also race on that boss with Genji, using that protect to potentially deflect some of that damage onto the boss itself. So I see both teams really vying for that top lane control to try to really secure that win condition specifically, but both have great wave clear, so that is their backup option if that does not go well.
Yeah, I think Genji is going to have a great time. Gul'dan can die, Hanzo can die. Well, Deckard Cain doesn't really ever die. He's got potions. But look for Axon. He's going to be looking for resets. Will he be able to find them, especially if Gul'dan plays a little risky with his trait to get some mana back? If he lowers his health, then Genji can find a Swift Strike in at the opportune moment. Could really set him up, especially if Flyest Raven is sneaky enough to throw out some damage on Zeratul. This combo of heroes can be destructive, CatPeach.
It can absolutely be destructive in the right hands, but when you're going into a top team like Necrodancers, you always have to assume mechanically they are potentially the higher playing team in this matchup, and so you can never really doubt one way or another. If they have those heroes that they really, really love, you are terrified. And you have heroes you really love, you still have to be terrified because you're going against a top-rate team here. In game number 2, let's kick this off, trying to get a clean 2-0 victory. We have Necrodancers. We're going to have Gul'dan, played by Physicals, Deckard Cain, played by the Attacker, Hanzo, played by Faye, Huff Money will be on Johanna, and Ezreal will be on Sonya.
And over on the right-hand side, we have FWC Esports. McNulty on the Muradin. Flash Raven picking up his Zeratul again. Croven's here playing that Junkrat. Bernie Burn on Malfurion, and rounding it out on the Genjorito, it is Axon.
And we are coming in here in this mid lane. Both teams trying to potentially deathball Junkrat, trying to get that vision early on with those grenades as well. Arrows coming out from Faye, getting the vision as well, Sonic Arrow. And it's about keeping track of Flyest Raven, not allowing them to get those sneaky dives that Zeratul is known to do.
Flyest Raven getting aggressive, already lost some health and linked in, and now that spear from Sonya almost got the job done, but barely surviving. Faye looking for it on the backside, not going to find it. The Flyest Raven will survive, but a bit of a skirmish there, and didn't end up seeing any blood spilled, but it did favor Necrodancers, and this wave clear will heavily favor them as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've got that Gul'dan to very quickly clear out those waves along with Sonya. Hanzo, depending on how you're playing with his geometry in any given point of day, could also take a big chunk out of those waves as well. But all eyes are really going to be on that Gul'dan and seeing how much they can poke, use that corruption to really whittle down the opponents on the side of FWC Esports here.
And once again, it's going to be Zeratul trying to play that solo lane. And, you know, it's a tough matchup again. He's into a more traditional laner like Sonya. He's going to have to get in and out and play it aggressive to poke her down, but has no way to CC out the Whirlwind. So Sonya's going to stay healthy the whole time. Azerial playing that hero. Not a winnable matchup for Zeratul, but if he can do a good enough job, like we saw him the other time we saw him on Zeratul tonight, he's going to be looking for a lot of these rotations up and down the map, trying to make an advantageous fight happen for FWC.
Yeah, Necrodancers on the other hand, though, the way they've been sticking with this foreman, allowing Sonya to soak, it's going to be really hard to find a pick like that for Zeratul to really capitalize on. It's not going to really damage that Sonya all too much, maybe set her back just a bit, but with that Whirlwind healing, Ezreal is going to be able to counter whatever the Flyest Raven can really throw at them, save for a grave mistake coming out from that Sonya.
Gems not enough for either team yet. 34 for Necrodancers, sitting at 29 right now for FWC. They're still making these rotations. Junkrat's up top, but here's Gul'dan. Murda wants that Stormbolt back, but here comes Johanna and Dem, followed up by all that corruption damage from Gul'dan. Kroven almost fell, gets down to about 100 HP and survives.
Yeah, and Faye looking for the Sonic Arrow there, hoping to maybe finish off the job, but with a quick tap of the fountain and repositioning, Kroven stays live for another day. Siege camps for FWC Esports, trying to alleviate some of this pressure on the bottom lane from that Sonya, who has been pushing mostly unattested, given that Flyest Raven, as we talked about, can't necessarily push into her that hard. Necrodancers, however, again with this 3 and 4 man roaming, simply clearing up these waves as fast as possible, getting that soak in, and have been able to stay equal on experience so far in this game.
But the wave clear of Necrodancers is proving to be a little bit more than what FWC has, and now enough gems on hand as they make this rotation down to the bottom. They're going to interrupt Zeratul. In trouble is Genji. He had the Swift Strike out, so probably not available to come back in here as the turn-ins are coming out from Azerial, coming out from Physicals. They're trying to get the gems in. Physicals holding only 12. They need to get tough money in as well, but McNulty getting trapped in. They might find some a kill here. Murda is down. First blood of the game, coming almost 4 minutes in favor of the Necrodance.
The body blocks coming out from Huff, Money, and team to keep Murda stuck in that 4-man pimp, allowing Necrodancers to get that turn in, and they are 2 away from having the first Webweaver phase of this game. Axon trying their best to throw as many shurikens as available to prevent that from happening, while Murda tries their best to return to this turning point as fast as possible. But will it be enough, or will FWC Esports accidentally overstep, lose another life in trying to defend this?
Well, they did a great job of defending. They actually found themselves level 7 talents, so a slight advantage for them. Malfurion actually turning in a few gems up top, so now both teams threatening to have enough for a turn in here. We'll see which side can get it in first, but it appears as though Junkrat, oh, he's 1 short. Kroven not even having enough on hand, trying to get 6 in. But this is definitely a contest on both sides of the map. Flyest Raven looking for a flank, getting spotted by that Sonic Arrow from Faye. But Red Webweavers turned in. Kroven had 6. Burning Burn with the 1 they needed. All 50 turned in. And Red side dropping down with some Webweavers.
Yeah, getting those first Webweavers in, and for FWC Esports, picking this map, again, they picked Towers of Doom, ended up losing out, and so being able to get this first Webweaver phase potentially gives them an opportunity to start taking a lead in this game. They get the stun onto Physicals, so far able to get away as there's not enough follow-up damage from Kroven just yet. But with the wave clear from Necrodancers as well, these Webweavers have to be really guided in, or Gul'dan or Sonya are going to clear them up so fast. There's a little bit of an experience lead. We're seeing Echoes of Corruption, Pursuit of Flame finally finished up for Physicals as that quest, but Ezreal going down. Sonya, again, that strong wave clear falling here, which is going to give FWC a bit of time to push this bottom lane. They were able to get the fort out, which will help them defend turn-ins later on in the series, but are not able to get a fort just yet.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on the gem counts. 48 on hand, excuse me, now 49. 48 already in the bank. So this could be destructive for Necrodancers. If they can find a turn in, make it 2, will really slide them back into this game. But level 10s are so close right now for FWC, and they're going to play a little bit of defense, especially waiting for these heroics to tick in. I don't think Necrodancers is going to find an avenue to even get the gems in that they need. They only need 2, but I don't find a spot on this map where they're going to be able to make that happen.
Yeah, the resources of FWC are spread. At the same time, Necrodancers can try to capitalize on that by having a 4-man rotation go in and try to get a pick, allowing for that turn-in, but it would be kind of tricky now that 10s are online for FWC Esports, and we see them coming out now. The Riptire coming out from Junkrat, taking out that Gul'dan very quickly, puts them exactly at the advantage they want. Ezreal, however, able to sneak in a couple of those gems and get that turn in. This will be level 10 now approaching with this push for Necrodancers, and that advantage that we saw from FWC is gone, Murda.
When you're babysitting, you got to make sure you turn on the baby monitor. That one was able to be snuck away. And Web Weavers will be spawned for the blue team, which will allow them to get their level 10 talents. Heroics now clicking in, Wrath of Berserker, Horrify, Tornado. So keep an eye on Dick or Kane, see if the attacker can pull someone back in one of these alleys. As they're finding themselves in right now, might be a good spot for this Valkyrian kill, although Pretty Bird gonna walk away, but leaving Murda to fall. Big pickup as the Web Weavers here in this mid lane, CatPeach.
Yeah, the stun log coming in from that Blessed Shield, from the roots coming out from Deckard as well. So much into that kill. And without that front line, Necrodancers is allowed to do whatever they want on the map for a little bit of time. They take out the sported mid. They're quickly rotating top to additionally, hopefully get the rest of this gate down as well. Perhaps even poke on that well a little bit. But that was a great pick for Necrodancers, getting them closer to equalizing in levels. They're still about a half a level down, so definitely not out of things yet. But the turn-ins now coming out again from Necrodancers. They have a follow-up. The Riptire coming out, trying to stall it a little bit more. Huff Money taking a lot of that damage. For now, no kills just yet, but Riptire is now offline.
Yeah, both teams with plenty of gems. 18 being cashed in by Kroven, putting them 3 away from their second turn of the game. Bottom side flies Raven looking for it and will get it. Azariel did not want to dive in, and Red Web Weavers for the second time, as they have about a half level lead right now with Web Weavers, and this bottom fort so low. Mid wall down, I believe top wall's down as well. This is opportunity for more than one fort to go down, but Dragon there on the backside, connecting on Malfurion, spinning to win. Azariel on the backside looking for Junkrat, and he falls. McNulty, 18 health, falls as well. A triple kill for the members of Necrodancers, but here comes the return action with that X-Strike on top of 3. He falls as well. It's a 4-for-1, and a lot of gems have been spilt on the ground. But Red Web Weavers are here, and at least they got some gems in, CatPeach.
Yeah, they were able to get the gems in. At the very least, it buys a little bit of time for those timers to reset, while Necrodancers has to clean up these waves for the time being. I want to shout out to Ezreal for that beautiful arrow onto the back line of FWC Esports, taking out 2 so quickly that it was beautiful execution coming out from that Sonya. And now, with the Web Weavers gone, Necrodancers has that opportunity to get another turn in. They have 57 gems on them, 13s on both teams. They are waiting for 2 heroics to be off cooldown before they engage, but this is looking heavily in their favor right now, Murda, and whether or not FWC is going to dive in and risk it, they're going to have to coordinate so well to make sure that they don't fall as quickly as they did in that last team fight.
Yeah, they got to stay alive. With that Blessed Shield engagement ripped apart by that Dragon's Arrow. The Horrify there as well. A double kill quickly. Riptire going to reduce some of these health bars, but not nearly enough to see Genji or Zeratul make any action on this backside. Faye's still alive, getting some potions from the attacker. And now it's time for the members of Necrodancers to get their own Web Weavers. Decker Kane dumping off the last few gems they needed. And with 14 to 13, they could find themselves a Talontier advantage after this, as they're in this bottom lane, already softening it up, waiting for this Web Weaver to show up. This fort is in trouble, but all 5 members of FWC are back on the map. They're going to try to make a defense.
Yeah, Flash Raven going in on physical, seeing what damage they can get onto them, but end up looking out the Scroll of Sealing, trying to catch Flash Raven off guard, but not so much yet. Going to stick down, try to clear that as soon as possible. This camp should help a little bit with the counter push against this Web Weaver, but not too terribly much. So much damage coming out from these right now. Level 15 achieved for Necrodancers as well. And they are rotating up here to top, trying to take out as much as they possibly can. Trying to take out a member as well. The Lornado comes out, knocking McNulty out of position. The Concussion Mine ends up saving them for now, but that leaves the fort beautifully exposed for Necrodancers.
Yeah, obviously we see the Bonzer hits once again from Junkrat, not opting for that Taste for Explosions, and we've seen this build come out constantly from Kroven playing Junkrat tonight, and I think in this one it's actually hurting them a bit, not having that extra poke on the backside. You see Gul'dan able to stay so free and get so much damage out. Same with the Hanzo. It's getting tougher and tougher as now we're looking at a potential third turn into the game for Necrodancers. They're all here. There's no defense. Level 16 talents. And they're starting to think about keeps, CatPeach.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're FWC Esports right now, your mind is on defending as hard as possible, trying to make sure Necrodancers doesn't have another turn-in follow-up after this. They won't have enough gems for one, so make sure that they don't get a lot out of this page as much as possible while being a talent tier down, and then give yourself time to catch up, as Necrodancers will have to stock back up on gems if they want another Web Weaver phase. But with damage already coming onto this gate in the top lane in front of this keep, that's going to be a hard task. But with 16s picked up, this is the chance that FWC Esports has been waiting for.
And they're going to want to take this fight as far behind the Web Weaver as possible. We'll see if Murda can get in, but instantly chain stunned and deleted is Murda once again. He's out of here. So now without a tank, look how sucked they are. Just a Malfurion, Junkrat, Zeratul, and Genji. As now Zeratul has to go all the way back to base. He's got to get some health back. The keep is down, and it appears as though Necrodancers are not willing to continue this push.
Yeah, the poke coming out from Junkrat onto that Web Weaver is enough to kill it very quickly. Didn't want to get caught out too out of position there, given the advantage they have. So they set their eyes for the boss, and we talked about Hanzo with this boss control, the damage. You see it chunking this boss. This is going to be grabbed easy peasy for Necrodancers, being able to push into that keepless lane up top, allowing them to soak, get more gems, get advantage elsewhere, while the members of FWC currently are turning in, but will have to defend against that boss.
Yeah, they're one short here, CatPeach. They need to get Kroven up. They were one short. So here comes Kroven with the final bits they needed, and they do get the Web Weavers, but they have to defend against this boss, which is here and ready to go, and Catapult's in lane as well. This is the core rush coming from Necrodancers, and they instantly get rid of Genji. He's first. McNulty gonna get trapped in by the Scroll of Sealing, pulled back by the Lornado. McNulty's down, and now it's time for Necrodancers to move on to the third round. All they have to do is get through this core. Shielding's down 70%, 60, make it 50, 40, nothing here to stop them. Tranquility for Malfurion trying to save the day, but not nearly enough, and GG. Game number 2, headed over to the Necrodancers.
Necrodancers very convincing when they're not dropping a map against their opponents, as we sort of expected. The damage coming out from physicals, by the way, and the siege is nothing to scoff at, as we're looking at almost 147,000 siege damage, 46,000 hero damage as well. So commanding with that character, 11 kills to 3 in favor of Necrodancers as well, and they simply owned and are looking to own the rest of this bracket here, Murda.
Let's take a look and see where they're going. Ooh, they're playing against Divination up next, who recently got BKB to join that squad. Assuming we follow that, I'm very excited to see this one kick off.
Yeah, absolutely. Divination also taking out Order of the Sleeping Dragon in the bracket as well, so they are knocked out for the rest of Cup number 7. The winner of Necrodancers and Divination will have to face off either Scythe Esports or Firm Handshake later on in this bracket. And that is going to be no easy task for either of them, given that they're all our top 4, top 5 teams, Murda.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, this is shaping up to be quite the tournament here this evening. Of course, going to conclude tomorrow. Storm did get past TLR in their first matchup. They will have to face up against Reborn, who just took out my org's team, Regen Black, over on the mainstream. Kala and Solid J casting that one. Reborn took it 2-0. They will face against Storm. And as I was talking about earlier, it is a must-win for Storm if they want to make it into the playoffs. So go ahead and check that out over on the Blizz Hero stream. For now, though, I believe we are going to take a short break and be back for our next round, which will be Necrodancers up against Divination.
See you then.